Welcome back to another one of my old school replay casts. This game, well, this will be the last of the old replays I'm going to go through. This game was probably about maybe a year and a half ago. I was back then a green player, which, as you can see by the matchmaking, is pretty rare for green players to actually be in this higher tier. Nowadays, there's a lot more green players, obviously. But the first half of this game, nothing really happens. I drive into town, look at a friendly getting himself stuck on the stairs of the church, turn around and realize that the northern flank has died and we've lost 7 tanks already, so I head back and defend the cap. So we'll just skip forward to that. Alright, so at this stage of the battle, everyone that had gone north had actually been wiped out, which is about half our team. And we can see on the minimap there's a KV-3, a nice little snipe on the T-67 there. T-67, of course, starts capping behind the mound, and we know KV-3 is moving there, and he's about full health. There's also a couple of other medium tanks, and there's the KV-3, and he is indeed full health. So, take a nice shot at him, half aim, track him, and penetrate as well. Then we just wait for the return shot, which he puts into the house. And check this shot out. I aim this shot pretty well, and it goes straight into his gun mantlet and penetrates, because that's what the long 88 can actually do. And we thought that was a fluke. Nope, it wasn't. Keep in mind, this is KV-3 back when it was a standard definition model. It's a little bit better now, but whether it's that much better, I don't know. And for the third time in a row, we take out the KV-3 with the third penetration straight through his gun mantlet. And missed a shot on the MT-25. This MT-25 actually got lucky a couple of times. I bounced on him a few times. I think I'll bounce on him one more time during this replay as well. But at this stage of the game, we've managed to bring the scores back to about even. And you'll notice at the bottom right of our map, there's a T-29 backed up with a couple of other tanks with him. They're all going to die, unfortunately. Looks like they're just pushing on the artillery, but there's a few other things shooting at them that you can't see. But from here on, it's a bit boring, so we'll skip ahead to the part where I'm the last tank left alive. So after some disorganized gameplay from myself, the friendly IS and the friendly AT-7, in which everyone besides myself got wiped out by artillery, I'm the last one left. Fortunately, I'm only against mostly tier 5 tanks with 2 artillery pieces. And that's the reason why I'm hugging these buildings on the left here, and I'm not going to move from here for a while. The artillery, well, obviously I know they're going to aim me because I'm the last tank left alive. Finally we get a nice shot on that MT-25. We bounced the previous shot on him as well. And then we bounced off the side of the Type 58. Normally that would have, well, if it hit the normal area, frontal area of the armor of a Type 58, it would just go straight through. But even the long 88 is not really capable of penetrating something like the auto bounce angles. It just doesn't have the caliber to overmatch the armor. So I still have to kill his Type 58. I know the T-67 is now on my cap. And I'm thinking about backing out, and Type 58 pokes again. And I'm kind of worried that he's going to spot me, and I don't know why he drove out there. But I'm worried about Artie basically being spotted and Artie going after me, which is why I sit here and then wait a few seconds for myself to be unspotted. Then see in a second that it actually works. There it is. So Artie had a bit of an idea that I had moved, but where exactly they couldn't tell. So now we get to a bit of a Benny Hill section, I guess. I'm a slow, dumb heavy, and I'm looking for a T-67. I know where the T-67 is. The problem is the T-67 is quite quick, and basically because there's a giant mound of dirt there, and I know where he's going to be sitting because most people go in there to cap. It's where the previous T-67 tried to go and died. So get a sneaky shot into him. So at this stage he can basically just outrun me. He can stay more or less within proximity range and just keep moving around this mound of dirt. And both artillery, well, one gets a bit of a splash, the other one misses by about 20 meters. But yeah, the T-67, he can basically continue to move around this mound and make sure that he never gets within my line of sight. And that's there's nothing I can really do about that because I am slow and he's quick and he's maneuverable and I'm not. And the worst part is because there's artillery in the game, I can't keep this up. I've got to do something. So I figured, seeing as I know he's sitting on the cap still because the cap count is still going up, but I'm out of proximity range. So I'm just going to back away from the mound, make it so that the proximity range is further away effectively. And now I know he's moved off the cap, so he must be coming this way. And wait a couple of seconds. Now he's looking for me, and he wasn't ready for it. You can see by the way where his turret was, he was thinking that I was the opposite side of the mound still. So in a way, I kind of faked it out, I guess. Or double back? I don't know what you would call that maneuver. Faked a double back? Don't know. Anyway. So now we go looking for artillery. And this part is kind of funny how this happens. We'll skip ahead to where I actually find the first artillery piece. And you'll see what happens with the second artillery piece. So after trundling through town for the better part of 2 minutes, I finally come upon one of the artillery pieces. And I knew he was going to be around here because he'd been spotted. And I know what you're thinking, where's that second artillery piece?
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Yep, that's right. He's all the way over there, on my cap. And I've got a minute, well, not even a minute 40, I've got a minute 30 to get back to the cap. Now the problem here is that the Tiger isn't, well, it's not super slow, but it's not very quick either. It doesn't accelerate too well, and it can get to a reasonable top speed if you give it a flat run. Fortunately, this map is relatively flat, and a lot of the surfaces here are hard as well. But at this stage I was thinking that I genuinely didn't have much chance of getting back in time. I thought I might be able to snipe the reset from somewhere in town, but the problem is I knew he was probably going to be sitting where the T-67 had been hiding previously before I shot him. That meant I genuinely needed to get into the cap at close proximity to him and reset him with about 45 seconds. And you can see I'm zooming out just to find the absolute best path to get back to the cap. And I think at this stage my platoon mate was actually telling me that I should have gone a different way, but I'm pretty sure this way was better. This way is also a little bit downhill, and I almost, yeah I do. I get over 40 kilometers in the Tiger 1, which is not bad. Thankfully it's a Tiger 1 and not something like a Churchill, which would be, or Black Prince, which would be hilariously slow and wouldn't have a chance in hell of getting back in time. So, 15 seconds left. I'm close, but I still don't have line of sight. You can see me lining the shot up. I know where he's going to appear. And 6 seconds. Counting it right down. We still haven't even spotted him. And reset right on 0. And the artillery looks at me, but Tiger 1 DPM gets the reloading time. GG. Alright, so having a look at the endgame screen, we can see we pumped out nearly 3k damage and got pretty good hit ratio out of it as well. Obviously it was an ace tanker game, also Kolobanov's Top Gun, Defender and High Caliber I think that is. I was 1 kill away from getting a Radley Walters as well, which is not too bad. And to give you an idea of how old this replay is, if you have a look in the mission box, you can actually see I've done the very first personal mission for heavy tanks. This is for the Stug, so all the way back then. And having a look at the team sheets, we can see that we can basically see why it was a Kolobanov's game, because 3/4 of the team really didn't do anything. Basically left the game up to the last 4 tanks at the top of the list there, who did actually have a pretty decent game, but in the end, when the odds are stacked against you like that, you'd expect most of them to have died, and they did, and that's why I was left alive at the end. And fortunately, because of the tanks that they had left alive, I was able to carry the game, although almost didn't. But GG.